Our second speaker is none other than Gwen Lamar, a seasoned product marketing strategist whose expertise is transforming the landscape of enterprise B2B software as a service. She serves as the Senior Director for Global Product Marketing at RepTrak, where she leads digital marketing, creative, and product marketing efforts. Her journey doesn't end there. She is concurrently pursuing an MBA at the University of New Hampshire, which is a testament to her unwavering commitment to lifelong learning. Today, she will share her insights on how AI can be unleashed to elevate, automate, and accelerate B2B personalization. So please join me in welcoming Gwen Lamar to the stage.
Okay, here we go. So, like she said, today I'm going to talk a little bit about B2B marketing and the importance of personalization and really everything in between. But who am I? My name's Gwen Lamar. I'm the head of product marketing over at RepTrak. Like she said, I also do a lot of digital marketing. We're a lean team. My background is in startups, typically in Boston and tech. So you really got to expand your skill set pretty quickly. In my 5 to 9, I'm an AI early adopter, an amateur chef, epilepsy activist or advocate, and MBA student. So I currently work at a company called RepTrak. We are a reputation monitoring and management company. So we do 2 things. One, we'll send out surveys on behalf of our clients, typically the Fortune 500, and see changes month over month in their reputation. And we have a set of consultants that help interpret that data and the changes over time. One of our big claims to fame is we help our clients prove that doing and saying the right thing is good for business. So we show companies you can increase buying intent by investing more in the environment or having a more ethical leader. So it's really cool stuff. And part of interpreting that data is using a proprietary AI algorithm to better understand the human experience. So not everything is necessarily going through numbers. AI can benefit us all by going through what humans are saying directly. So for those that don't know, there's obviously B2B marketing, B2C, B2B2C. B2B is special. It's its own special beast, and part of that is we have very targeted audiences. For example, I sell to communications folks. Some B2B companies only sell to HR in pharma, and you can really get as specific as you want. There tend to be longer sales cycles. I've worked at companies where it's been weeks, but also where it's been up to 2 years, which is usually a multi-million-dollar deal, which is great, but it's really hard, and you have to build a lot of trust and make sustainable relationships along the way. Another big part of it is generating high-quality leads for your sales team. In marketing, you're really accountable to that brand awareness, but also making sure your sales team hits revenue targets, so your profit soars. And if you're good, it works. If you're in a startup, it's a little bit harder, but that's okay. Part of what we're going to talk about here is messaging. Your messaging must be informative and focused on problem solving, highlighting ROI and benefits, and so much more. Good. Any B2B marketers out here? Yeah, you got it? Yeah, you know. So you're a social media marketer, you're a digital marketer, cool. A lot of boxes to check. It's really hard to check them. When you're talking, you're being the voice of your business on social media, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, via email, it can get wild. And also it has to be at each stage of the sales cycle and very often to many different titles. So, I absolutely love generative AI. It's been something I've been obsessed with since 2015. And what I wanted to start here with is no need to fear, generative AI is here. But also at the same time show you that maybe AI isn't perfect at the moment. Here we have my Dolly prompt. Visual representation of the theme, no need to fear, generative AI is here. So the graphic designers out there, you're not gonna lose your job very soon. Generative AI has come a long way. Like I said, I've been using this since 2015, specifically an amazing tool called AnyWord. It's come a very long way. But I used it a lot and almost made jokes out of it, but it was an incredible tool to kind of help the creative process. But here, you'll see, so I always use the AI copywriting tool, AnyWord, to give me inspiration when I'm writing emails. Sometimes it misses the mark the first few tries. So we see here, subject line examples. Hey, I heard you got fired. So AnyWord scans millions of data points with email. They work from a bank of information that tells them who's gonna open an email with what subject line. And yes, I am gonna open that email. Hey, I heard you got fired. No, I'm probably not gonna be loyal to the company anymore. On their website, I went back to my onboarding email, the first one I got from this company. And they said, best use cases, projects to promote products or services, promote editorial content, landing pages, subject lines, phenomenal. Not what I necessarily used for, and I don't think anyone else really used it for that. We used it more so for ideation. So one of the great things it could do was translate features to benefits. So in product marketing, we prop up a lot of product pages. So that means a lot of writing, and making sure you're covering features and benefits can sometimes be challenging. Like when you're writing an essay and that first line is really hard to start, you look and stare at those features and you look at the benefits and you think, okay, who am I talking to? What do they care about? There are so many ways you can go when you're thinking. So ideation was kind of where it started and ended for me until post-ChatGPT and things just blew up in the best way possible. So yes, ideation, but in 2023, we can do way better than subject lines and guessing. So generative AI has streamed content ideation, creation, and optimization. It can enhance existing content with optimized variations for diverse platforms and audiences. It can personalize social media content for deeper audience engagement and resources just by telling them. And yes, for the Office fans out here, I've got a great photo. My boss congratulating me for my marketing campaign. Me, who got all my ideas from a marketing newsletter I saw on social media. So yes, this is still true for many marketers, but now ChatGPT helps us a lot in generative AI, just making up those ideas. So part of why I have that on there is when I really got the hang of ChatGPT, one of the first things that happened, it was a big product launch we had. And there's a lot of writing and a lot of things depending on it when you're in B2B SaaS in the tech world. And I did a month's worth of work in 1 week. And I cannot tell you how happy my boss was. And I cannot tell you how nervous I was for her to think I can do a month's worth of work in 1 week going forward. But here we are, and she was very happy, and we've toned it down and found a good pace going forward. So, generative AI, what is it? It uses deep learning algorithms to analyze large amounts of data and learn from it. Once the model is trained, highlighting trained, everybody remember that, it can be utilized to help us create or generate new marketing ideas and content. So why do I want to highlight trained? You need to give tools like ChatGPT and any of these generative AI tools onboarding. If you want them to spit out accurately what you have, it's best to treat them almost like a consultant or a new intern. What would you tell that new intern to write that social media post? What does that consultant need to know to correctly reflect your product on your website or to the press? In addition to that, what's the goal of your content? Is this lead generating? Is it awareness? What skills should this person have? You're an expert in product marketing. That line in a prompt is going to get you a far better answer than without it. For example, I'm going to keep talking about my website. Product marketing is my bread and butter, so everybody, please tell me to stop if you need to. We were editing our homepage and the copy on it. And we had a quick summary of our product, and I just didn't like it anymore. As a marketer, sometimes you stare at something and you're like, I loved it 2 months ago, but I must change it. And you do. So I'm going on ChatGPT, here's what we have now, here's how I want to change it, here's the new competitive differentiator, let's get all of this into 3 lines for my homepage. It came out with some incredible stuff, but none of it was right for a homepage. It was too specific, it didn't speak to a broader audience, and I was so proud of it. It knew my audience, but not where I wanted the content. So the next thing I did was, ChatGPT, this is phenomenal. Use best practices for a website homepage for the intro. Totally different answer, incredible response, and that's how I got started on the website. Okay, oh, skip that. Okay, so when you're using ChatGPT, Anyword, Jasper, any of these tools, and you're in social media marketing or digital marketing, one of the first things you should do is determine your brand voice. It's extremely important also if you have multiple people like writing your emails, posting your social, maybe a few people are juggling your social media. Nailing down your brand voice is gonna help you build trust with your audience. It's gonna help, I don't know, just make your life easier when you think, I don't know if this is really nailing the mark. So at RepTrak, we rely a lot on data, but we also like to put a fun spin on it. And we kind of narrowed our brand voice in on Bill Nye the Science Guy. So funny, like makes the content relevant, but you really need to stay consistent with that. Especially if you're catering to a specific audience. So for me, yes, we do Bill Nye the Science Guy, but our audience is corporate affairs and corporate communications. They tend to be buttoned up, so having that professional bow tie to it with an engaging, funny spin makes all the difference. Oh, okay, so how do you find your brand voice? That sounds super fun. Great, Gwen. I know my brand voice. We're Bill Nye the Science Guy. You shouldn't exactly tell that to ChatGPT because it's gonna start spitting out some science. I recommend the best way to find your brand's tone of voice, and even you as an individual, is to find writing you're most proud of. Find a blog post that is, I nailed it with this blog post. I generated so many leads. There's so much traffic on this page. Copy paste it into a ChatGPT. Say, what was my tone of voice? What was my tone of voice here? Was it authoritative? Was it general and funny? Does it sound like I'm speaking to an older audience, a more professional audience? And maybe it's not the brand voice you want. And then you also got to clue into that. But from there, copy paste it. Save it amongst everyone that is posting and writing emails, social, so they too can use that as a prompt in ChatGPT. They can write the content that they want, and I'm sure that it's always gonna be lovely, but you can say, great job. This doesn't necessarily hit our brand voice, so let's just pop it into ChatGPT. Hey, put this in my brand voice. Not Bill Nye the Science Guy. Okay, step 2. And this one's really important in B2B and B2C, but B2B, it's leaps and bounds you need to know. Know your buyer, commit to learning. So first and foremost, I would say ChatGPT isn't always the best tool when you have an evolving user persona or buying persona. So like I said, we sell to communications, and we work in reputation management. 1 year ago, companies, Fortune 500, Fortune 1000, were interested in how to build reputation. But according to the trends, as of literally this year, they're interested in using it as a competitive differentiator. That is completely different messaging. And I couldn't get that from something like a ChatGPT. You have to read what's out there, read industry reports, and that's a lot to read. So for those using ChatGPT 4, which you should all be using it, you can feed PDFs into it. You can feed, one thing I did the other day was feed a competitor's financial report, H1 2023 financial report. It told me how they were doing financially, what their strategy was, and what they've been investing in. And then in addition to that, we're trying to break into HR, the HR persona. I really didn't know that much about HR. You can't learn it overnight. It's a very complex group of people. And what did I do? Went online, looked at every industry report I could find, fed it to ChatGPT because there's not enough time in the day to read these things, and it gave me exactly what I needed. Okay. Am I at 23 minutes? I'm sorry, guys. Am I way over time? No, I'm good. Okay. Okay. So next, build, personalize, publish. Go forth and build. So I wrote this as step 3+ because it's really not fair to call it step 3 because there's so much. It's more like an ongoing step. And what I wanted to show y'all here is one report that you write with your content marketing team, or you write on your own because you're a one-man marketing team, can be stretched far and far and far. One thing we do at RepTrak is multi-touch marketing. So that's gonna be publishing a piece of content via email, on social, and everything in between to really reach all the nooks and crannies of your audience. But those are different audiences you're talking to. When you're on social media, it's more likely you're talking to top of funnel prospects and businesses. And you wanna focus more on educational content there. You get more specific as you go down the funnel, but at the top, we wanna become an expert in our field. We wanna give people a reason to trust us. And when you have that consistent brand voice and you've got some great educational content, you're on the right track. But what about going down the funnel? There's a lot of other content you need to make. So what we do at RepTrak is build content off of one report. We build infographics, we build quick slides, we build blog posts, we build videos. You'll see here, this goes along with our HR, trying to break into HR. One of the industry reports showed us, and this is a problem for many people, is HR is having trouble resonating with Gen Z, learning more about Gen Z. So with that information, we put together a video, Reputation by Generation. We made it its own campaign. We targeted only HR and used language that was only relevant to HR because different things resonate with them than our core persona, communications. So that's something we do across the board. Thanks. I think I'm done. Was that good? Okay. Thanks, guys. So just before I wrap up, my daily AI toolkit, I use everything, but I whittled it down to my marketing toolkit. AnyWord for brand voice, ChatGPT, ideation and editing, Canva for design, which just came out with a bunch of really cool AI tools. I know someone's talking about AI in Adobe. That's probably gonna be better, but I'm not a graphic designer. Anyways, okay, now I'm done.
How do you deal with the AI systems like ChatGPT being giving inaccurate answers? Because sometimes I like to do my own marketing research for myself and like for my own personal use. Yep. And ChatGPT sometimes gives me inaccurate stuff about companies, inaccurate stuff about people, and the like. And how do you deal with that professionally when you know something's inaccurate based on research that you've done before using the AI systems?
Yeah, if you're saying you already know it's inaccurate, or you know it's possible it'll be inaccurate?
You can go like either case. Sometimes I know something's inaccurate, especially if I'm researching a brand that I'm very loyal to.
Yeah, 100%.
But sometimes I feel like it's inaccurate, and if I feel like it's inaccurate, then it's most likely to be inaccurate.
So here's what I do. Yes, I did just make it sound super easy. Feed ChatGPT, industry reports. I will say it's automatically gonna be a little bit more accurate because you're the source of truth when you're feeding it an industry report, but do foundational research on your own. For me, when I'm looking at new personas, and I'm a workaholic, so maybe don't everybody do this, I immerse myself in podcasts from that industry. So then you've got the baseline of information already, and you can kind of go on gut feeling, but keep in mind, there's always a chance your information is gonna be inaccurate. But alongside that, us as humans, there's a chance that our information is gonna be inaccurate. So we're all just doing our best. Feed it trusted information, do your foundational research so you can have your gut feeling, but yeah, outside of that, you just gotta try.
Thanks, and you did a great job.
Oh, thank you.
So I think a lot of us marketing students in here use Canva almost every single day for like presentations and other like flyers and clubs and stuff. What have you experimented with AI in Canva?
Okay, so I like using it to edit photos, like if there's a background I want to change, changing little things. I mean, a big part of it is I just fiddle around, see what it can do. I really like DALL-E 3 for building graphics from the ground up, but Canva, actually one thing that's interesting, and I don't know everybody uses it for this, is building PowerPoints. So they have a functionality, you put in, I think, 5 words, and it spits out a PowerPoint for you. It does not always hit the mark, but like I said, I use AI for ideation quite a bit, so sometimes I just use it to build a storyline for a piece of content, because it will put things in a nice order for presentation, so you know right out the gate, hopefully, that you're gonna have a good cadence and a good storyline as you go. Go for it.
You talked a lot about how to talk to AI. Do you have any? Sorry. Do you have any like general tips?
I have so many. I could give another presentation for it. My advice to you, and this is going to be terrible advice, you're not going to want to hear it, go online, look up best practices for prompts, because for me, I had great ones. I had a, this is so silly, AI marketing mentor, essentially, and what she told me was start off with, you're a fantastic marketer, and you're looking to generate leads for X campaign, and I found it didn't always work for me. So I really recommend sitting down, experimenting, look up best practices, because that's gonna be where you build up that confidence and build up really where you wanna go. But we can talk later if you want to talk prompts, because I do have a lot. It's another session.